guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to ARIKE'S Arena, and welcome to the first episode of Breathe. Now, a couple of weeks ago, this was my birthday, we did some sort of rebranding of the channel, and I told you guys that there were going to be 2 new shows coming up on ARIKE'S Arena, you know, to impact our society a little more and all of that. Today is the first episode of Breathe. I am super excited. I'm thankful to God for finally making this a reality. I'm thankful to my team members. Oh God, I don't deserve you guys. So yes, for those who do not know, who did not watch the rebranding episode, Breathe is intended to be a very relatable show, you know, where our guests come and share their stories, share their experiences, just so that somebody out there can know that whatever it is you're going through, you're not alone. If these people have gone through it, they're people like you, and they have success stories to tell, then you too can get through it. So that's the point of Breathe, and we're excited that it's finally a reality. So without further ado, let's get to our first episode.
Hi, Arike. How are you?
I don't understand. They welcome you now. They welcome you back.
The energy has to be reciprocal. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the first episode of Breathe. Let me welcome you officially. First to ARIKE'S Arena. This is your first appearance on my channel, Shay.
Actually, this is the first time.
Consider yourself lucky.
Honestly, I count it a very rare privilege to be on this, on the channel today, to be sharing some of my experiences with people. So
The way you even make me blush on this channel. But yeah, I am honored that you responded to our invitation.
I think I'm more honored to be here, actually.
Me, I'm more honored. Let's play the game. I'm more honored. You're more honored. So it's the first episode of Breathe, and just for context, right, this is intended to be very relatable. We want people to realize that whatever it is, just like we said, breathe, you're not alone. Whatever it is that you're going through, somebody else has been there, they've gone through it, or they're going through it. So that should give you confidence to get through whatever your situation is. So when we wanted to pick out the topics, right, my team and I were considering, should we give people topics? We should let them, choose their topics and all of that. And
a blank check
you should just say anything. When my team member that reached out to you got back to me and said you wanted to talk about following your passion, I was like, nice, like it fits, enter. I'm not even surprised because, see, all 6 is there's a reason it's called that. Let me not even talk so far. Is drumming fire. No, let's not even cap. I don't even cap normally, but like what? I want to hear all about it. I want to hear how you realized that this was the thing for you. First off, before we get into all of this, tell us a little about yourself.
My name is Balogun Emmanuel. I am a 400 level student of nursing department. I'm a drummer, musician, basically, yes. I think that was all about me.
Sorry, before we go on, are you single?
Of course I am. Yes.
Okay, I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying, I'm not insinuating, I'm just putting it out there. Thanks.
I can see what you're doing.
No, I'm not even doing anything. I'm just putting it out there. We're getting to know you, We have to get to know you so that we can get to know your story. God, I beg. What would you define as your passion?
Okay, so
before you get personal, what would you define as a person's passion?
A person's passion to me, let me do a disclaimer. So everything I'm going to be saying in this video is exclusive to me. There's no particular written rule to these things. Everybody has their own experiences, everybody has their own, they have what they are going through, what they've gone through, and what they can say. So there are different perspectives to So this is my own perspective. This is me personalized.
So you do not stand in authority, it is your experience. And we like that.
Here now is just exclusive to me.
We like it. We want to hear all about your experience.
Alright, what I can call somebody's passion is something that you have a matured interest in. Something that you have a matured interest in.
I'm keen about the word mature. Why did you use mature?
Thank you. I like the fact that you noticed it. Now,
I have sense. Thanks.
There's a difference between interest and passion. You could have interest in a lot of things, but you don't have passion in them. That's why I use the word matured. So when you say you have passion about something, it means that you've gotten to the point where that you are seeing that thing as the only option. When you talk about interest now, you could have interest in so many things.
And when it doesn't work, you leave it.
You can leave it and move on. When you're talking about passion, it means you are seeing that thing as that thing or nothing.
Yeah,
Do you get? So as I said, matured interest. It gets to the point where the only thing you see is that thing. You just don't. You can't explain it. Some of the times these things are very subjective. You just see it as this is the only thing that I see as available for me. And if I don't have this, I don't think I have anything. So that's what I can call the passion.
So what is your passion?
Okay, for me personally.
What is that thing that keeps you from everything? We're not going to go by a definition.
I'm passionate about it.
Okay, tell us about it.
I'm passionate about music.
Okay.
And I'm passionate about medicine.
Lord. You people are not seeing what I'm seeing. You know, I've always liked someone that, you know, have passion for music. I'm just putting it out there. And I'm a medical student, and you know, I have passion for medicine too.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, you may go on.
Those are the two things that I'm passionate about. Those things top my list anytime, any day. That's after God, Sha.
Okay, of
like,
course, after God.
I find them so important. Like, I take them so seriously that before I can consider any other thing, I must have considered those things first. Like I said, it is subjective to me. This is how it works for me.
So at what point did you discover this passion? At what point did you know that?
For me, you have to draw the line between your interest and your passion.
And your passion,
They're not the same thing. You have to be sure that, okay, this is it for me. This is what I have a matured interest in. So you have to look beyond the options that you have and you see it as, okay.
You know, I can relate to that on a personal note because somehow I think I'm one of those people that, you know, when they say a person is multifaceted, I happen to have a lot of interest. And because I'm good at some of these things, people assume that it's my passion. I've heard somebody tell me that this medicine way they do na side hustle. say it's either you go into acting or you go into, but I realize that these things are just interests, they're hobbies, they're things I enjoy doing. I'm good at them and I enjoy doing them. I don't think if I go to 2 auditions and they stress me out, I'm not going.
And yeah, something I just feel like I said earlier, passion is more subjective. What people see on the outside doesn't
necessarily. Exactly, that was the point I wanted to make. When the person said medicine is a side hustle, it was funny to me because medicine is that thing that when you ask me that, where do I see myself in the next couple of years? Being a medical doctor has to be part of whatever it is I am. When I look at my future, 5 years, 10 years from now, everything I want to be, everything I want to achieve, the impact I want to make is still surrounded, you know, being a medical doctor. So
we can still say that at the end of the day, it still takes the center stage.
Exactly, it still takes the center stage. But because somebody sees me involved in a lot of media stuff, right? I'm doing YouTube, I act, I MC, and I'm good at it. They just assume, this is your passion, this is your medicine, then push you go do them and be another kind of thing.
So you are the one that, you know, draws the line and say, okay, this is what I'm passionate about. I can say that sometimes people comments can be misleading. It could be misleading.
So it means you have to be deliberate about finding your passion.
One thing I used to tell myself is that you are your biggest fan. You are your biggest fan. This thing boils out to you. There is no other cheerleader like yourself. There's no other person that can encourage yourself
the way you would encourage.
There's nobody that will motivate you like yourself. So all these things boil down to you.
So how did you find your passion of sticks?
So well,
no. You know, when did you find your passion? Before we get to the how, when?
I found my passion years back. Like,
are you one of those people that when you were 5 years old, you don't they drum fire? Everybody don't they look at
I started playing drums at the age of 9.
Wow.
At the age of
9.
Yeah. And I've been playing drums ever since. One of the things I say when it comes to passion is that work on your growth. It's very important. You have to work on your growth. Like, I was so particular about drumming sometimes. I remember then when I was much younger, you know, you go to churches and you see big drummers, and I could go for programs of like 10 hours, 15 hours, and I would not even sit on the seat of the drums. I would not even, and I would just tell myself, I said, okay, this is a learning process. Just enjoy it. Just watch these people, learn whatever it is you can learn from them. These people have been in this stage too at a point in time. Everybody, Rome was not built in a day, like you said. So there is a process of growth. I learn from those that have, you know, that are already at the top in that aspect. So what I see is that I see myself as, you know, I see that process as a process of growth. So I'm not beating up myself for it. I just enjoy the process, and I know, okay, by the time is going to come too. I mean, now I'm very, this is not pride, but I'm very glad to say that, I mean,
you're good.
If I'm going to come to any maybe concert or anything now, like, I don't, sometimes,
pride, you want no pride, no, feel free to pride, don't be packaging.
To be very honest, sometimes I could be the main drummer, sometimes I could be like, this was me that, you know, I was always going for programs, and all I would do was probably just pick the broken sticks for the drummer, or just help them to clean the drums without stepping on it, or without even, without doing anything on it. Like, it doesn't even, like, it's just there, and I didn't beat myself up for it.
But your topic is how to follow your passion, right? So once you find your passion, I sense from your topic that there's the aspect of investing in your passion, being intentional.
It can't be overemphasized. It's very, very important. Like, you have to grow. You know, when you are growing, you're adding value to yourself.
Sure.
You would not need to chase money. Now, one thing I tell people most of the time is that, you see, you don't need to drop at the start of it. Don't put money at the beginning, you would fall flat. You fall flat, and you can find that at the end of the day, you might end up being frustrated.
It could even kill your passion. Honestly, because money was your motivation.
Exactly.
Let me give an example with YouTube channel. I remember that when I first started then, I think after I dropped my few episodes and my friends that had watched it then were really impressed and all of that, they were really talking to me about monetization. I'm like, sorry, let's calm down. I didn't even know when monetization is a thing. When I started a YouTube channel, it was because, God inspired it. I wanted a platform to express myself. I had all these ideas in my head and I wanted to put it out somewhere and all of that. And for me, it was that expression, having a chance to express that mattered to me the most, reaching out to people, impacting my world, in my little ways and all of that.
So yours is a clear example of passion. So if you see anybody that is saying that you have passion and you're putting money before it, that's a lie. That's a lie. Like I said, passion is subjective. The person knows the reason why they are doing that.
Yeah.
If it is passion, for me personally, I believe that money is going to be, there's this confidence that comes for me every time that, guy, money go come.
You will make a steady. You can't be this good and not make it.
The only thing I'm concerned about is keep adding value to yourself. Yeah. Keep growing. Be consistent. Keep working on yourself. Get better at what you do. Be the best at what you do. A time will come. People will be the one chasing after. Money will be the one chasing after. You will not even be the one chasing money. Honestly.
Brother dropping birds.
Honestly, all these things are things that I have seen myself in, and I have grown in that light. So I'm not speaking from a place of what they told me or what I heard. It is what has happened to me.
Which is exactly the point of Breathe. I'm glad that you're launching us so amazingly into the first season of Breathe, right? Because we want you to speak from your experience. We don't want anybody to come and aspire to Maguire. We've heard a lot of it. Everybody they aspire to Maguire to require. It has not worked for anybody. So we want to hear people that have experienced these things and have grown through or are going through it. Now, there's one other question I want to ask you. So, do you ever feel conflicted now in situations like there are other things that look like you're more passionate about? You understand? Like, for instance, maybe, for somebody like me, as passionate as I am about the future that I'm going to have as a medical doctor, being able to help, my patients, being able to be that doctor that they see and smile. That is something I absolutely look forward to. But there are these other things that I like. I mean, my YouTube channel is still very much in that line, so I'm not even picking that. But there are these other things I really like doing, acting, for instance. Now, so if somebody like me was feeling conflicted as to what really is my passion, like for instance, I have auditions that I get called for and blah blah blah, and I have to miss it for school or for things like that. And at some point you are wondering, I've been at the audition, I suppose they go for it. You understand? So, do you ever feel conflicted, between your passion and your other interests? And if you do, how do you handle it? How do you remind yourself what your actual passion is?
If you are conflicted, if you're having maybe a conflict of what interest, is between your passion and your interest, I feel like you should just sit down, ask yourself a question: which one will top the list every time? Which one will top the list every time? I think that is
that makes it so easy to answer the question.
It makes it so easy for me personally. I feel like one of the reasons why I'm very single right now, I have to say it, is because that I think I will have issues in my relationship. Why? Because I see these things that I'm doing now as very important. Like, I carry them on my head practically. Like, if you wake me up a million times, I'll still tell you that this thing and this thing is still it for me. So it's very difficult for me to now place something else ahead of it, or for something else to come and compete with their position. It's going to be very difficult.
Before we move on, I want to acknowledge something, that you're intentional enough to know that you're not ready. And I'm putting this out there. This is even outside our scope, but I'm putting this out there because there's a lot more than just liking somebody or loving somebody to going into a relationship. Is intentionality, is that this person is going to take a portion of your life.
And there's a place of commitment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So when you know you're not ready, you put in the work. Exactly. You separate it until you're ready. Anyways, thank you so much, because you've said a lot already. I want to ask you one last thing. For those of us out there who have either found our passion and are trying to follow it, or who are in the process of finding our passion, what are your last words to them?
So for me, I'll just quickly say these things. I'll run through them. So the first thing is that you have to draw the line, like I said before, between your passion and your interest. The second thing I must say, of course, is that you have to work on your growth. You must be sure to work on your growth. Another thing, like I said before, please do not put money at the start of this thing. Do not be clouded by the idea of making money and all of that. And another thing I must say is that know what you want and stand for it. Know what you want. Come on, know what you want and stand for it. Then another thing, of course, that I must say is that please always remember that you're your biggest fan.
Yes.
When you're talking about passion passion, you pass, like there's perseverance, and even after failure, like after failure, so you still
that was the point I wanted us to make here.
That's why I said that it's very important for you to be sure
that this is what you want, so that
be sure.
Whether it's, you know, I'm saying it that if I go for audition and they stress me, I feel no go again.
Everything in life have their own challenges. They have their own ups and downs. So be sure that
when is your passion, whether it's stressful or not,
whether it's so just keep in mind that. Check yourself and be sure that
this is what
when this thing brings problem, hope I will still be able to stand the test of this problem. So
YouTube they stress me, but here I am.
So
YouTube they stress me, but here I am.
So I feel like you work with those things. I feel like
you have said a lot. I can't even. I thank God for the leading of the Spirit with this season of Breathe, because it's amazing in a lot of ways. I'm glad that you're our first guest and you have done an amazing job.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Arenians, they're saying hi to you. We're a thing now. Anywho, thank you guys for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed filming. Enjoyed watching as much as we enjoyed filming. Anywho, so we'll see you next week. We love you plenty. Ciao. Mwah.